Okay, so this is a video just teaching how to make custom abilities inside Mcreator. So first you're going to want to get a model. For this tutorial, I would highly suggest getting the plugin Gekolib on Blockbench before you make the model. It just makes it easier when you actually implement it in game, but you just make your model, your basic animations, and then you want to export it and import it into Minecraft. So if I go to, give me a second. Where is it? Here. This is just a blank Mcreator tutorial. First thing you're gonna do, you're gonna want to. I'm not showing how you do it, but you just need to export your animations model. You just need to export your model and animation separately. It's in Blockbench. You just go to export, and you'll just get the options. Pretty easy. So I'll just implement it. I forgot to mention all the assets here from my Minecraft mod Hellish Horrors, so check that out. That would be cool. I'm now adding a sound, which I will just call Pursuer. How? This is just a basic tutorial. I'm using the Pursuer from Die of Death as an example. Player ambient voice. This would be hostile. You can name the subtitle anything you want. So you're gonna want to download Nerdy's Gekolib plugin, and you want to go to File, Preferences, Manage Plugins. Wait, no. Where is it? Is it not Preferences? Sorry. Workspace, Open Workspace Settings. Yep. Then you go to External API and then do this. It then has to refactor the workspace. This just takes a bit. I wish, and I am curious if there's a way to make it automatically, because I make all my projects with Gekolib now. But for now, it's fine. Also, this version is on Forge. I don't think the Gekolib plugin has support for NeoForge and what is it called? Fabric. But either way, even if it doesn't, you can always just do this without Gekolib. Gekolib just makes it a lot easier, and it's what I personally use. Surprisingly taking a considerable amount of time. Okay, so now what I want to do is I want to make an animated entity. I'll call it Pursuer. Okay, Pursuer, change the model so that I just press this plus here and I can import the texture. So give me a second so I can get the Pursuer texture. Right there. I'm not going to change anything about the bounding box. It doesn't really need to be changed. Just set a color, and I'll put the creating tab as spawn eggs. But you can set it to whatever you want, even a custom one. This all is just the stats of them, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to set his, give me a second. Because I'm making the Pursuer, I'm going to use the Pursuer stats that I already have made. And he is going to have, 120 health. Drop a experience. 0.33. Or, oh, that's definitely not it. And 70. 70. Damage, you can customize whatever you want to. Pretty much all of these, but I'm just going to keep it as default for now. And all the other stuff you can customize as you want. Synced data. Synced data is very important. So first, you want to make a integer value. I'm gonna just do it as how cooldown. This is your cooldown for the ability. Next one should be how usable or something like that. I think I spelled that wrong, but it's still fine. This will be a logic. And this one is optional. It's a logic cue for SFX. So that's just if you want to add a sound. Inventory, nothing needs to be changed. This is where you want to do stuff. But first, I'm going to turn off natural spawning and despawning. And add the animations. Idle. Oh. I named it run, right? Run howl hit. Yep. Attack animation. Hit. Set that down to like free ticks. And this to 0. Because I want it to be choppy. But I would not recommend doing that if you want to do a normal mob. So that's basically it. Save and keep open. Now, I'm going to do a pursuer on entity tick. This is the actual, like, where you make the well, you know, the ability. So, the ability I'm going to do is how, which just, it slows down and gives weakness. It has a 10-second cooldown. So, first thing we're going to do is flow control. If we're going to do is entity currently aggressive. And then we're going to do another if. I'm just going to say there's going to be a lot of ifs. You're going to get our this, which is just logic. And you're going to go get in data where we want to get our values. These are literally just like where you get the values from. So this is a logic one. I don't think I explained it, but integer literally just is a number. And logic is yes or no. True or false. So pursuer. And then how usable. How usable is pretty self-explanatory. It just checks a bit. Now, if that equals true, wait, then if start how query, so we are then going to add another if. Sorry if this is hard to follow. I'm new to making tutorials. And I am going to do another math one. This one will be actual. Nope. Wrong one. Sorry. Probably want to flip it around so that's easiest. I want to set this to 1. And then I want to go to data, or not player, entity. Data. And I'm going to get my integer and put it here. Pursuer, and how cooldown. So that's just checking if it's not 1. So then I am going to entity actions. We are going to set the sound effect to 1. Oh, did not mean to put that over. Pursuer, and SFX to false. This just means that while this is playing, so currently what we have is it checks if get logic data there. Oh wait, I don't think I set those to false, right? No, I didn't. So if how usable equal true, which I shouldn't have named it that because it's actually the opposite, but it's fine. It's just a name. It checks if its value is true, and if it does, it checks if how cooldown is 0 or less, or it just checks if it's 0. Like, once the how cooldown reaches 0, it activates. Or while it doesn't equal 0, it does this. That is pretty simple. And then that sets SFX Q to false, which I mean it's pretty simple. Here is where you start the countdown. So what it does is it checks if it equals, like, if the countdown is 0, and if it isn't, then it minuses it by 1, which you can do by doing this. You take the how cooldown, take you out, set that to 1, math. So you can't minus it by 1, but you can do this. You can what you need to do is you need to get the value of the current one, which you can do by just grabbing this again. Okay, let me set these to external inputs. Pursuer, how cooldown. Now, that will just set it to, that will do 1 every single tick. It goes down by 1, which means what you need to do is you want to get the amount, like how much you want, and then times it by 20 to get the amount of ticks, which we'll do later. So 10 seconds is 600 ticks. Next thing we're going to do is go to else. You can click this little gear icon, and if the timer is finished, what it will do is, let me just real quick. We will set the how query to true, or false. Pursuer, false. Which will trigger it. So what we'll do is we will then make an else event on this one. On the else event, we will just do if. We'll do another if event. There is a lot of if events, like I said. Now this is where we want to do the sound effect. This is completely optional. But I would suggest doing it if you want to do an ability. It adds a lot of, like, cool stuff. I don't have particle effects done, but you can also add particle effects here. Basically, this else event, anything you want to do, like the ability, you want to put it in this else event. This is just making sure the sound only plays once during the else event. But you can just do that for the entire ability, so the animation only plays once, so particles only spawn once. It's really simple. So there weren't really many sources when I tried to check. But we will go to entity data. For custom entity, pursuer, SFX equal logic true. If it equals well, no, not true, false, then we want to play sound, pursuer how, set the category to hostile, because, you know, hostile mob and its ability. And after that, we want to, for custom, we want to real quick set sound effect to played, so it can't play the sound effect again. That's not what I meant to do. So, wait, that's player. go here. We'll go to our logic again. Pursuer. Sets that to true. SFX. Now that's how you make it play the sound effects, but we still need to do the rest of the ability. So I'm going to go to Gekolib. Now you could do this without Gekolib using normal base animations, but it's not really good in my opinion. But if I go here, if entity element pursuer is the event entity target, plays the animation howl. So it will play that animation, and that animation is just, you know, him howling. I also want to override his motion vector. This will make it so he can't move, but it is a little finicky, so I also want to go to Entity Procedures, Actions, Add Potion, Slowness, level 255 for 1 tick. So, because it's running every single tick that he's in that, it will cause him to be slow. He cannot move during the animation. If you want to give him invincibility here too, you can. All you need to do is just make it so the is entity invincible is in here, and the else event has true, and the normal event has false. Next, I want to have the effect onto the player. So, I'm going to do external inputs for this one. So, what we are going to do here is we will set this to 120. Ooh. If you want to make it infinite for whatever reason, you can always set it to -1. Just a little tip. I don't know why you would want it. That would be very annoying, but you can. Particles I actually want to be false here. I don't know why I said it. They can be true for here, though. Particles are just visual, so there's no actual, like, gameplay effect for them. And give them weakness 1. And then, so with that, that's basically it. But right now, he would just be howling forever. It would just be going on infinitely. So you want to, this is how long you want the ability to last. So 85 ticks is how long I want it to last. So now I want to, oh, I do realize, sorry. I did a little goof. Entity tacking. Ooh. Okay, wait, sorry. So sorry, I kind of skipped over that on accident. You want to scroll down here and look for get entity, event entity target is targeting for attack. In this case, that would be the player. So these slowness effects and stuff would apply to the player. Don't change this one, because that one will apply to Pursuer himself, so he doesn't move. Now, waiting 85 ticks on server side will, we just want it to be disabled. So, if I real quick, this part is just wrapping it up, so it's not anything big. So you want both a integer one and a logic one. The logic one, the integer one is obviously going to be howl cooldown, which you want to set to 200, which is 10 seconds. If you want to make it longer, you can. Also, I think I said it's 10 seconds with 600 earlier in the video. That's 30 seconds, sorry. You want to put that one on top. I don't know if it actually has a difference, but I am paranoid that it does. You then want to go to Pursuer and set howl usable to true. That should be the end of it, but I need to double check. Yes, so I save and keep open just in case there's a bug. Now, that should be the end for Pursuer, but we gotta actually, like, see it in-game now. It's not going to be the best thing because this isn't like the most optimized one, seeing that, you know, it's just for a tutorial. You can optimize, and like if you need any help with anything, I will respond to comments. So just let it run. This is a new Mcreator project that I just made for this tutorial, so it's gonna take a bit to set up and download everything. So like for this, it's fine if you're really new to Mcreator. In the meantime, I guess I should explain these. These are variables. I assume most people know what a variable is, but if you don't, it's basically holds a value. An integer is a number. Logic is true or no, or true or false, like I said earlier. And the final one, string, is text. So like a name, for example. And I will now share Minecraft. Sorry, it's a little small for a bit. Size that up. This is it just loading. It says 4 mods loading, but that's just because of the APIs and GeckoLib. Let's just go to creative. I'll do super flat because not only does it generate faster, but also it's just easier for testing. Come on. Alright. No, this is a little bit broken. I didn't, like, fully make it, like, perfect. But Pursuer's in game. / game mode survival. When he targets us, which we're gonna have to punch him. I forgot to make him automatically hostile. He'll do his roar ability. And he'll chase us. The weakness 1 means you can't do it with a default weapon, but if you have like a sword or something, you should be able to. I'm just going to wait him out so I can show you that the ability does work multiple times. 10 seconds? Now, he does get stuck in the air, but that's really easy to fix if you just get rid of the attempt to override movement one. I personally kept it because I feel like it fits his kind of like scuffed feel that was purposely like made for the original Die of Death game. But you can do that if you want to do something more like, you know, actually like professional. But that should be it. Bye. If you need any help in like getting bugs, I can help you in the description. Remember, printing is a really good way to find stuff.